Action games. Action games are like the heartbeat of gaming. They're the genre that makes your palms sweat and your heart race because everything relies on your reflexes, timing, and quick thinking. In the early days, classics like Super Mario Bros. And Contra set the foundation for what an action game could be. You ran, jumped, dodged, and defeated enemies as fast as you could. The thrill came from mastering movement and reacting quickly. Modern action games like Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, and Sekiro, Shadows Die, twice pushed that formula further by adding deep combat systems, combo chains, and boss fights that test both your reflexes and strategy. Action games often overlap with other genres, like shooters or adventure games, but what defines them is the fast-paced gameplay that keeps you fully engaged. If you've ever felt that rush of narrowly dodging an attack or landing the perfect combo, you've experienced the core of what makes action games so beloved. Shooter games. Shooter games, often divided into first-person shooters, FPS, and third-person shooters, TPS, have dominated the gaming industry for decades. In FPS games like Doom, Halo, and Call of Duty, you see the world through your character's eyes, which creates an immersive experience. You feel like you're actually on the battlefield. These games test your aiming skills, reaction time, and even your tactical thinking. TPS games like Gears of War and The Division pull the camera back, letting you see your character in the environment. This perspective is great for taking cover and coordinating movement, which is why many tactical shooters use it. In recent years, battle royale games like Fortnite, PUBG, and Apex Legends have combined shooter mechanics with survival elements, making the genre even more competitive and fast-paced. Role-playing games, RPGs, or role-playing games, let you step into a character's shoes and guide their story, often in vast, imaginative worlds. The roots of RPGs go back to tabletop games like Dungeons & Dragons, which inspired early titles such as Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest. These games emphasize storytelling, turn-based combat, and character progression. Modern RPGs like The Witcher 3, Elden Ring, and Cyberpunk 2077 have expanded the genre by offering open-world exploration, branching storylines, and skill trees that let you customize how your character plays. A big part of RPGs is choice, deciding what your character says, how they fight, and sometimes even how the story ends. Western RPGs often give players a huge open world and freedom to explore, while Japanese JRPGs tend to focus on structured stories and memorable characters. Adventure games. Adventure games are perfect for players who love strong stories and solving puzzles. Instead of focusing on fast reflexes or intense combat, these games put you in situations where curiosity and decision-making drive the experience. Classics like Monkey Island, King's Quest, and Myst shaped the genre in the 1990s by offering narrative-driven gameplay where exploration and problem-solving were key. In more modern titles like Life is Strange, Firewatch, and The Walking Dead, the genre evolved to focus heavily on player choice, often letting your decisions change the outcome of the story. Adventure games often blend with other genres, but their core appeal lies in emotional storytelling and immersive worlds. They remind us that games don't always need explosions or fast action to captivate players. Sometimes, the power of a good story is enough. Simulation games. Simulation games aim to mimic real-life activities, or sometimes take those activities and add a ridiculous twist. The Sims is the most famous example, letting players create families, build houses, and control every part of their characters' lives. Want to see how your Sim survives in a pool with no ladder? Go for it. There are ultra-realistic Sims like Microsoft, Flight Simulator, and Farming Simulator, where every detail is carefully modeled to reflect real-world conditions. Then there are quirky, over-the-top examples like Goat Simulator or Surgeon Simulator, which turn ordinary tasks into hilarious chaos. City builders like SimCity and Cities Skylines also fall into this genre, letting you plan entire towns and manage resources. Simulation games appeal to players who love experimenting, creating, or simply relaxing in a virtual space where they control every detail. Whether it's designing a dream city or managing a virtual zoo. Strategy games. Strategy games challenge your mind more than your reflexes. They're about planning, resource management, and outsmarting your opponents. In turn-based strategy games like Civilization and XCOM, you take your time making moves, carefully plotting each decision. In real-time strategy, RTS, games like StarCraft, or Age of Empires. The pressure ramps up as you have to think and act quickly while managing armies and resources. A popular subgenre is the MOBA, multiplayer online battle arena, with games like League of Legends and Dota 2, where players control a single hero in team-based battles. These games mix strategy, action, and teamwork, requiring players to master both tactics and mechanics. Strategy games reward players who enjoy thinking ahead, analyzing situations, and executing plans under pressure. They prove that victory doesn't always go to the fastest player. Sometimes it's the smartest strategist who wins. Sports games. Sports games bring the thrill of the stadium or the court straight to your screen. Franchises like FIFA, Madden NFL, and NBA 2K strive for realism, with lifelike graphics, player stats, and even detailed career modes. These games let you step into the shoes of your favorite athletes and recreate real-world competitions. Then there are arcade-style sports games like Rocket League, where you play soccer with rocket-powered cars, proving sports games can also be wild and fun. Some sports games have become esports powerhouses with tournaments, pro players, and massive fan followings. The appeal lies in competition and mastery. Whether you're hitting a game-winning three-pointer or scoring a last-minute goal, sports games capture the energy and excitement of the real thing. Puzzle games. Puzzle games are all about using your brain to figure out challenges. Classics like Tetris, Minesweeper, and Bejeweled were simple to learn but tough to master, keeping players hooked for hours. Modern puzzle games like Portal, The Witness, and Baba Is. You add new layers of complexity, combining storytelling with inventive mechanics. Mobile hits like Candy Crush and Monument Valley show that puzzle games can appeal to both casual and dedicated players. The beauty of puzzle games is their simplicity. They often have minimal graphics but deliver maximum satisfaction when you crack a tricky problem. They're proof that gaming isn't just about fast reactions, it's also about creative thinking. Sandbox/open world games. Sandbox and open world games give players freedom to explore and create their own stories. Games like Grand Theft Auto 3 revolutionized gaming by dropping players into huge open cities where they could follow missions or simply cause chaos. Minecraft took this freedom further, letting players shape the entire world block by block, sparking endless creativity. Modern titles like The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Red Dead Redemption 2 create vast, detailed worlds filled with secrets, side quests, and dynamic events. What defines sandbox games is the lack of a rigid path. You decide what to do, where to go, and how to play. These games appeal to players who love exploration, discovery, and the joy of crafting their own adventures in immersive virtual worlds. Horror games. Horror games specialize in scaring the player while delivering intense, thrilling gameplay. Classics like Resident Evil and Silent Hill created the survival horror formula. Limited resources, dark settings, and terrifying monsters. More recent titles like Outlast, Dead by Daylight, and Phasmophobia bring new twists, like multiplayer scares or psychological tension, keeping the genre fresh and terrifying. Horror games work because they mix fear with excitement. The suspense of creeping through dark corridors or running from something unseen can be as thrilling as any action-packed shooter. These games aren't for everyone, but for players who love a good scare and the adrenaline rush that comes with it. Horror remains one of gaming's most gripping genres.